Okay. Would you like to introduce us?
Okay. It is 10:25 and we are starting the public hearing for consideration of the wards number 459 watershed drainage improvement petition filed by Christopher Aker.
All right. And Brett will begin.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brett Bacon, Soil and Water Conservation District. I will read the first hearing report into the record. First hearing report, wards number 459, watershed drainage petition per ORC 6131, May 20th, 2024. This report has been prepared for the preliminary hearing on a drainage improvement petition filed by Christopher and Nikki Acker and others on November 1st, 2023. The original petition has been signed by 14 individuals representing 25 of the 36 parcels in the watershed. The course and termini of the requested improvements are quoted from the petition as follows. In Delaware County, Brown Township, within the wards number 459 watershed, and generally following but not limited to the course and termini of existing improvements. The following is the nature of the work requested as quoted from the petition. To generally improve the drainage, both surface and subsurface, to a good and sufficient outlet by replacing, repairing, or altering the existing improvements as required and or creating new surface and subsurface drainage mains or laterals as requested by this petition. Petition process. This petition has been submitted according to Section 6131 of the Ohio Revised Code, which authorizes the Board of Commissioners to act on behalf of benefited property owners to make drainage improvements. If the Board of Commissioners decides to proceed with a project, the costs related to the improvements and the development of plans, reports, and schedules are assessed to the landowners in the watershed according to the benefit received to their watershed acreage. These special assessments will be added to the property taxes for each property and can be spread over a maximum of a 15-year period. Property owners may also choose to pay their assessment in a lump sum payment prior to placement on their property taxes. Additionally, the improvements will be placed on the Delaware County Drainage Maintenance Program in perpetuity per ORC Section 6137. And the annual maintenance assessment will appear on property tax statements as a special assessment in the same manner as the construction assessments. These annual maintenance assessments are generally in the range of 2 to 5% of the construction assessment. The decision to approve a petition project is a three-step process. First, a viewing of the proposed improvement is conducted for the commissioners to familiarize themselves with the watershed and general conditions. The commissioners conducted the viewing for this project by drone video on February 22nd, 2024. Next, a preliminary hearing is held to consider the initial feasibility of the proposal. It is this preliminary first hearing that is before us today. If this petition is approved, a final hearing will be conducted to further consider this petition. At that time, final details such as engineering plans and specifications, cost estimates, and a proposed schedule of assessments will be known. Existing conditions. The Delaware Soil and Water Conservation District and Delaware County Engineers Office have made the following observations of the watershed using on-site evaluation and a review of available historic records, aerial photography, topographic mapping, soils mapping, and drone video. The wards number 459 watershed, as defined for this hearing, measures approximately 278 acres. The predominant land use within the watershed is agricultural, with smaller areas of rural residential. Improvements have been made in the watershed utilizing the drainage petition process in 1918. These improvements appear to consist of subsurface drain pipe installation only. The existing drainage system does not appear to be functioning at optimum capacity due to a lack of comprehensive maintenance and the generally deteriorated condition of the infrastructure. Several blowouts have been observed along the length of the subsurface drain pipe. This indicates potential structural deficiencies in the material and can be an indicator the subsurface drain system is not fully functional. These structural issues can also increase the frequency of surface flow or flood routing through the areas as drainage water normally flowing through the subsurface drain pipe is forced to the surface. A section of the subsurface drain flows through an area of heavy brush and or trees, which can lead to root infiltration and blockage of the drain pipe. These conditions are indicators of an overburdened, unmaintained, and aged drainage infrastructure. While the existing drainage system still provides some degree of drainage benefit, it does not appear to meet the specifications of a good and sufficient outlet for either agricultural or rural residential drainage. Estimate of cost, factors favorable, unfavorable, benefit versus cost. ORC 6131 requires the county engineer to state in a report factors favorable and unfavorable to a proposed project, estimate the cost of the project, and state an opinion as to whether the benefits of the project exceed the cost. The following information is presented for your consideration. Construction estimate. The proposed project would begin at the junction of the Wards number 459 drainage system and the O'Brien number 440 drainage maintenance project number 1102 and extend upstream to Bowtown Road and then east along Bowtown Road to the east side of the railroad tracks to meet the request of the petition. The major items of work would include surface drain shaping and grading, subsurface drain pipe replacement, clearing of brush and vegetation, seeding and mulching of disturbed areas, turf grass restoration, and the installation of erosion control measures. Project estimate, construction, $235,629.90. Project administration, survey, and engineering, 10% of the construction estimate, $23,562.99. Drainage maintenance, ORC 6137, first year startup, 5% of the construction estimate, $11,781.50, for a total project estimate, $270,974.39. Notes. It is important to understand that the above estimates are preliminary and made in the absence of a current detailed topographic survey of the project area. The above estimate does not contain a contingency amount. The amount of necessary contingency would be evaluated as part of the survey and engineering design of the project and added to the estimate presented at the final hearing. Contingency cost is typically estimated at 15 to 20% of the construction estimate. As an example, a 15% contingency would add approximately $40,000 to the construction estimate. Should the project fail to be approved at the final hearing, the benefiting landowners, as defined by ORC 6131, may still be responsible for the cost of project administration, survey, and engineering design. Assessments. If the project moves forward to the second hearing, the Ohio Revised Code instructs the county engineer to calculate the assessments to individual property owners based on the benefits received from the improvements for the various properties in the watershed. ORC 6131 states that, quote, uplands that have been removed from their natural state by deforestation, cultivation, artificial drainage, urban development, or other human methods shall be considered to be benefited by an improvement that is required to dispose of the accelerated flow of water from the uplands. Benefits are further defined by the ORC as elimination or reduction of damage from flood, removal of water conditions that jeopardize public health, safety, or welfare, and increased value of land resulting from the improvement. It should be noted that property owners are only assessed for those improvements that are located downstream from their properties. No property is assessed for improvements located upstream. The public agencies that own rights-of-way for public roads and other public lands are also assessed for both construction and maintenance costs in the same manner as private property owners. Individual parcel assessments are not calculated for the preliminary hearing and are only calculated if the petition moves forward to a second or final hearing. Factors favorable, unfavorable. Factors favorable to the improvement: improved surface and subsurface drainage in the watershed, improved outlet for subsurface drainage components of household sewage treatment systems and for residential drainage systems, reduction of future deterioration of surface and subsurface drainage infrastructure, and annual inspections, maintenance, and protection of the improvement in perpetuity. Factors unfavorable to the improvement: temporary land use during construction, cost of construction and maintenance may be a burden to some landowners, removal of existing trees and brush in the improvement area. Benefits versus cost. Assessments for property within the watershed are calculated based on the benefits derived from, as well as the contribution to the drainage system. The benefits to agricultural lands are realized differently from what is commonly seen for residential properties. However, both types of land use are commonly recognized to have benefit from a good and sufficient drainage outlet. A publication by the Ohio State University Extension titled Returns to Farm Drainage details several studies conducted by Ohio State researchers on the effects of drainage on crop yields. The studies show that fields with good drainage will produce higher yields than fields that have poor drainage. A recently completed 25-year study showed that subsurface drainage increased corn yields by 24% to 39% and increased soybean yields by 13% to 46%. The same study also analyzed the return on investment for installing subsurface drainage in a field and found that for corn, $4 is returned for every $1 invested, and for soybeans, $3 is returned for every $1 invested. There are approximately 210 acres in the watershed currently being used for agricultural production. The average estimated yield increases for the soil types present in the watershed, given the appropriate drainage improvements are in place, are approximately 46 bushels per acre for corn and 14 bushels per acre for soybeans. Using current 2-year average crop prices from the USDA Agricultural Statistics Service, National Agricultural Statistics Service of $6.18 per bushel for corn and $14 per bushel for soybeans, it can be estimated that drainage improvements can potentially produce an average annual benefit of $50,500. This estimate assumes an even distribution of corn and soybeans in the watershed. To state it generally, the benefits of drainage will equal the increased yield multiplied by the market price. The increased value or benefit for residential and commercial properties is much more subjective and difficult to quantify. The lack of an adequate drainage outlet can dramatically affect the seasonal usability of property and deteriorate the condition of household sewage treatment systems, potentially limiting the value of homes for resale. Should existing systems fail, the cost to perform repairs or construct alternate sewage treatment systems can range from the thousands to tens of thousands of dollars. It would also be reasonable to consider the cost of environmental degradation due to residential sewage treatment systems that may not be functioning properly. Other benefits that are commonly perceived as a result of drainage improvements focus on quality of life and positive neighborhood perception. Communities that have planned and maintained stormwater drainage infrastructures generally have higher resale values than those communities that are known to have a history of drainage problems or flooding. Conclusions. Based on all of the information gathered and generated for this project, I believe the project is technically feasible and would adequately serve the project area's drainage needs. The testimony brought to the board by the landowners, however, as to whether the benefits of this project exceed the cost, should be given significant consideration in the decision to move forward with this project. Should the current petition be approved to proceed to a final hearing, the petition bond will be returned and detailed plans, specifications, estimated costs, and a schedule of assessments would be prepared. Additionally, a benefit versus cost analysis will also be performed to further determine the feasibility of advancing this proposed project.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Yeah, Brett, this is a fairly expensive project. The cost is pretty high on this one. If you could just comment on that, if you would, please. I know it's a lot of agricultural land.
Yeah, I think, Commissioner Benton, I think the cost that you're seeing on this project is becoming our average cost price, just given our current prices that we're seeing, current cost of construction. I think this is going to be fairly typical. The tile size is fairly large on this, and obviously larger tile equals more cost, but obviously we refine that and we'll get down to what I would call an actual estimate for the final hearing if the board chooses to move forward.
Okay.
Okay, and I will ask our clerk if there are any letters. I do have one from the Nutters.
We do. S. Diane Nutter, General Manager of Nutter Farm, submitted a letter on she wrote it on April 26th, received it on May 6th of 2024 in support of the project.
Okay. Okay. And those speaking for or against the project must be either an owner, as defined by section 6131.01 of the revised code, or an attorney speaking on behalf of the owner. And the way we do it, first we will take proponent testimony, and as soon as you come forward, anyone who would like to give proponent testimony, and state your name and address, and I will swear you in.
My name is Chris Acker, and I live at 90 Lackey Old State Road, Delaware, Ohio.
Okay.
I am the filer of the petition.
Okay, and I'll swear you in right now so
Okay.
we don't miss anything. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God. I do.
Thank you. Proceed.
Yeah, as Mr. Bacon so adequately put it, the current tile is 106 years old, probably put in by hand or maybe some horse assistance, and it's been there quite a while. The land around there, the reason I initially filed the petition is when it rains, it floods. It doesn't go away. I mean, it sits out there and sets out there until the sun kind of dries it up, and I'm going, something's blocking this tile. We need to get it looked at or fixed, and so I said, well, I'll go ahead and file the petition to have it redone, you know, because it's not going to get any better. I don't even know how big it is. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't even bigger than 8 inches. I don't know. But
What is your, what number is your land? I should have
it's
asked you
in,
that.
the address is 1895 State Route 37 East,
Okay,
and it's in 2. It would probably be here in, is this 16?
where is it?
This is Kroger's.
Okay.
It would be right here. 22, I don't have my glasses on. Let me put my glasses on, I can see it.
He can, I think I've got it somewhere here.
Chris, you'd be 16.
16?
Number
Yeah.
16,
Okay.
16. Okay, thank you.
right there.
Where is it? Okay, thanks.
Actually goes down to 37.
All right. Okay, thank you.
So I adamantly support everything Mr. Bacon said.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Aker.
He said a lot. That report is long.
He did. He says it quickly, too.
Yeah, quickly.
Which is great. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor of the petition? Anybody else? Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to the petition? I don't see anyone who wants to speak in opposition. Okay. All right. Brings it back to the commissioners.
Yeah, I think this one is pretty straightforward, at this point anyway. I would support advancing this petition to the second hearing. You know, we have evidence that the farmland is flooding, and, you know, that clearly reduces yields and so on, and so I would support
Okay.
advancing this to the next
Okay.
hearing.
All right, we'll note the time of the closing of the hearing at 10:42.
Thank you.
We don't need a resolution to do that. And resolution number 24-416, in the matter of proceeding with a project survey and design for the Wards number 459 watershed drainage improvement petition filed by Christopher Aker and others.
So moved.
Second, discussion. I totally agree, and the thought of placing those tiles back in 100 years or so ago, oh my gosh, that alone is enough to move the project along. So the next, actually,
You need to vote?
we need
I
a
will
vote.
call for a vote, yes, unless you would like to state the reasons why you're finding in favor officially.
Oh, yeah, the 3 reasons. on
The 3 reasons, yes. I'll be glad to do that. Certainly, the improvement from the testimony is necessary and will be also conducive to the public welfare. And I also believe that the cost of the proposed improvement will be less, let me put it this way, the benefit is outweighs the cost. And therefore, we'll proceed.
Vote on motion 24-216. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Right. That brings us to administrator reports, which. None. All right, commissioner committee reports.
Commissioner Benton.
Oh, just a couple things real quick. We have a foster parents dinner tomorrow evening. That's JFS puts this on every year, recognizing the huge contribution and sacrifices that foster parents make to help kids in our community that need foster care.
That's right.
And Rita Sorinen, who is the director of Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, is the featured speaker. She's a national expert in promoting adoption of kids in foster care or unadopted kids. So looking forward to that. And then we had a land bank meeting last Tuesday, I think it was Monday, and that went well. We got a new firm hired to assist with the grant administration process going forward.
Good.
And approved some bills, did a couple of routine things. So good things there. That's all I
Great.
got.
Anything, the one big project there, Sunny D?
Sunny V is nearing completion.
Okay.
The last part of the demolition was to reseed and you do, you know,
Okay.
fix the grass and so on where they damaged it in the demolition process, and that's
Okay.
done, as I understand it.
Okay.
So I think that was the last part of it, and that paperwork should be submitted to the state. And then it's turned back over to the owners to do
Okay.
the renovation, the actual renovation of the
Okay.
building.
Okay.
And that should start, well, I know it's already started, I know they've been working
Oh,
on that,
that's
so.
great. Okay,
Yeah.
good, good. Thank you.
Mhm.
And I have nothing to report. Do we have need for executive?
We do not have any need for executive session.
All right. And hearing none.